So thank you so much, Mano, for this wonderful opportunity. So I am Karthi. I am founder of a non-profit called Team Everest, and my vision is to promote volunteering in India. So inspire every Indian to volunteer and make India the biggest volunteering nation in the world. So that's my vision. So uh, little bit background about me. So if I want to tell it like a small tweet, my background is that I studied in a village and then I did my engineering, got placed in Cognizant. I worked there for 100 months. I quit my job and doing full-time social work right now. So that's a very short intro about me. So this is I just told it like a trailer now. So let me probably go and like explain the movie. So this is my journey. So I was born and brought up in a place called Arani, so which is like 150 kilometers from Chennai. It's from a place in Tiruvannamalai district, 150 kilometers from Chennai actually. So my father is a cameraman and a photographer who goes to small town who takes videos in small towns for marriages or special functions. And my mother is a government school teacher. So I come from a very lowest middle class family, and till my fifth, I studied in RNE actually, and like during my seventh standard, actually, my mother and father decided, okay, let me put him in a better school, and I was put up in a school called St. Joseph Boys High Secondary School in Patyavaram. So that is like 15 kilometers from my place, RNE. So it's proper village actually. So if you go there, sit inside a classroom, and you open the window, you will feel like seeing a Bharati Raja film there because it's completely green outside. It's in between a farm. Actually, that school was located because that was in a village. Like lot of children in and around that village actually came and studied in that school. So a lot of my friends whom I had were actually village students from village background. And so typically the inspiration for my volunteering, actually the seed came during my school days. So I had a friend. So so his name is Vignesh, and he used to come from a nearby village. And whenever my teacher, like maths teacher, asked to buy a long size notebook, it will take him like 5 days, 10 days, or 15 days to buy it. The reason is, his family is in poverty, and they had like 4 or 5 boys in their home. So, and his father is a cycle mechanic, so he couldn't buy the notebook immediately. So, what happens is actually he goes back home, work along with his dad, put puncture, repair bicycles, earn little money, and then actually save that money and then come and buy this notebook. So it will take him like 10 days or 15 days. So till the time my teacher used to punish him. So the teacher will make him stand outside the classroom or kneel down and all. And he's one of my very good friend. So we used to sit on the same bench. He's my lunch mate also. So he used to, like share his feeling during lunch hours, that how we felt bad because he didn't have money. I always used to quote this uh, experience of mine. The reason being, it just sums up the kind of people whom I met till my 10th standard. So a lot of these children, so Vignesh is just one person, but just like him, there are many children actually who came from very underprivileged background. So till then I studied there. So I usually get like fifth rank or sixth rank. So anywhere between, I never come in one, two, three. Usually my spots are fourth, fifth, sixth rank. So during my 10th standard, I don't know what happened. Suddenly I got school first. So I didn't even, I have not even got a first rank. So I used to give that credit to all my friends who didn't study well. So it's not that I studied well to score first rank. Actually, people who used to score good marks actually, I think, didn't perform better, and I got school first. So my mom thought, okay, so மண்டல ஏதோ இருக்கு இந்த பையனுக்கு, so something is there inside his head. So let's probably put him in a better school so that he can earn good marks. So what happened is, like when she came to Chennai, she met one of her schoolmate. So my mom's schoolmate. So who was telling that, like her daughter is studying in a good school in Chennai, and why don't you consider the same for your child also? And she did a small background check, and she came and decided, okay, let's put the child there. So and the fees over there is much beyond our reach. So my mom got debt and then actually paid the fee. So I joined SBOA school in Anna Nagar in Chennai. So the very first day, like I went to the school. It's very rich school. A lot of children from different background comes there. And what actually astonished me is the quality of education that I got there. Like the teachers was too good. A lot of support was provided, and say like you can actually in home you can write test, come back and give the paper. The teacher can like will correct, tell you mistakes what you made and all. So there's so much of support that has been provided there, and the kind of people whom I met was also totally different because their background is completely different. And that was disturbing me so much, like because if you have money you get one kind of education, and if you don't have money you get a different kind of education altogether. And education is something, like it's very important because it gives you a lot of direction in your life. It gives you wings, like see, for most of you I don't even know your names, but one thing I'm very sure is all of you here are educated. And see, imagine, like so at Team Everest we call education as a magic, because like education is something that doesn't just change a person's life, it will change an entire generation. So my mother always used to tell, like my grandfather who used to study well, like when he completed fifth standard, I think it's way back in 1940s. So his father actually told to drop him from school because, like for sixth standard, you need to walk like 5 kilometers, and the fee at that time is 1 rupee per year. And he was telling, like, why should I pay 1 rupee for this? And he actually stopped his education. And my mother used to always tell this story. So my grandfather thought, like, okay, I couldn't study now. But when I actually get married and I have children, I will educate them. And that's how he educated my mother. And because my mother got educated, she educated me. So that's the beauty of education. All you need to do is in that family chain, you need to just educate one person, and that will actually continue and it will impact an entire generation. So that's the reason we call education as a magic. And the beauty of education is that, right? See, like we really actually underestimate the power of education in some cases. Imagine you look the same way, you have the same hairstyle, your look is same, your like the walking style is same, you have a same voice, like everything is same. But imagine I'm taking that education qualification inside you out. Think where you would be today. And on the other hand, like say you have the same education, but you have a different hairstyle, different skin color, different voice, but probably, like you would be still in the same position as you are right now, or you might be even in a better position. That's what education is all about. Education gives you an identity in life, actually speaking. So when this education is discriminated to a lot of children, I was wondering, like, hey, like, okay, my father and mother got debt and put me here. What about my other friends in rural areas who couldn't afford this kind of an education? So that was disturbing me. So I thought, like, I should do something about it. That's the spark that I had. So as 11th and 12th standard kid, you couldn't do much. So I finished my 12th. I got good marks. So my parents told, like, if you don't score good marks and get a seat in a government college, we will not be able to pay you fee and put you in a private college. So like I was completely focused. How do I get a seat in a government college? And I got good marks. And for my mark, like I got a seat in a government college of engineering, Salem. So I scored a centum in chemistry. So I thought, okay, maybe like chemistry is something that's good. And I actually took metallurgy. Like so metallurgy department is something that is available only in three colleges in Tamil Nadu. So it's available in Salem, in PSG Tech Coimbatore, and it's in REC, which is like NIT Trichy right now. Only three colleges. So like something funny actually happened. So in my chemistry book, I had so many chapters. So that was I still remember the third chapter is a chapter where we talk about various ores. Like how do you extract metals from various ores? How do you dig and take gold, silver, copper? It's the biggest chapter in your chemistry book. I'm not sure. It may be 30 pages, 40 pages, one chapter. Like as kind of, and it was so scary. So usually teachers, like even our teacher, I don't know whether they thought this or not, but they told this is the important question. You read this, something like that. It happened. So I used to skip that chapter always, but still I am able to score a centum in my 12th standard. And because chemistry was so good, I loved the teacher. Vijay Lakshmi ma'am is my teacher. Yes, BOA. I'm still in touch with her. So, and like I thought, okay, so this probably metallurgy is something I could enjoy, and I joined. Like this is the irony here. That I mean, the chapter which I skipped actually was taught for 4 years in my college. So, so that entire metallurgy is all about the third chapter in my chemistry book, which I actually skipped. So I joined there, and during those period, like I was thinking, like, okay, now what do I do? Like I want to do some volunteering. So I started volunteering locally. Like I used to volunteer in visually challenged homes, orphanages. I used to read books for the visually challenged. So I was doing a little bit of volunteering here and there. And during my final year, I got campus placed in Cognizant. And like my class had like 45 students, out of which 10 students got placed, and I am one of them. And that's the day I decided, like I should, okay, so once I joined Cognizant, let me start an NGO and start helping children. So that's my thought process. So, I mean, so this campus interview happened during my beginning of my final year. So I had one more year to complete my engineering. So, and like I was so curious, I was doing a little bit of planning, and I made sure I should clear my exams, I should not fail, and like which will affect my future. So I studied well. So meantime, like I had a friend. So I told him, like, hey, uh, um, I want to do a logo for my NGO. So there's no NGO as such. We have not registered. There's not even any activities going, no volunteers. But I told him I want to create a logo, and I gave that concept of, like if you actually Google as Team Everest, um, you could see teameverest.ngo's our website. You could see a logo, small logo there, where like there'll be a man who is at the top of the mountain, who will be showing his hand to lift another person up. So for me, I think that is the spirit of volunteering. Like people who are at the top should be able to, like give their hands and lift the other person. Uh, and I would always give another explanation towards this. Logo, people always think, like people who are at the top is say financially good and people who are at the bottom is financially. It's not just about, that's one categorization of how you can define underprivileged. Okay, it's based on financial category. But the other way you can look at it is, say, for example, say I'm very pathetic at dance. I don't dance at all. And so, like say if someone is good at dance, if they teach me dance, now in there, like they are at top of the mountain, I am at the bottom of the mountain. Say for example, if say about non-profit sector, say someone wants to give a lecture, probably like I might be at the top of the mountain and some other person is bottom of the mountain. So you can always categorize it, like so the same person would be, like in some cases would be on the top of the mountain, in some other cases it will be at the bottom of the mountain. So you can always see, like whenever you are at top of the mountain, make sure that you give your hand and help the other person who is at the bottom. So that's what that logo represents. So we created that logo, and I completed my engineering, and Cognizant put like asked all the non-computer science students to come and take, I think, 1 month course. I think 1 month course in Coimbatore. So we went there, and in PSG college they organized a course there, and we attended it. And then like they asked to come and join the company. So I still remember the date. It's August 21, 2006. I joined Cognizant in Toraipakam office, TCO office in YMR Road. So for the 9 days, like August 20 to August 30. So the good thing about IT company is, I mean, like whether you work or not, still they give you a salary actually when August 30 is, I mean, when at the end of the month. So I too got my salary. So myself and three of my friends, together, like, so four of us, we collected like 4,000 rupees. So that's the donation from our first month salary. And we went to a village. The village name is called Sirumur in Tirunelveli district, where my mother was working as a teacher. And we gave, like, we identified children and who were struggling to pay fee. Like those days they had actually school fees. Now there's no fee in government school, but those days the fees is like 49 rupees per year, not per month. 49 rupees per year for 10th standard. So we had students who couldn't even afford to pay that fee actually. So, like we identified such children, we paid their fee, we got them notebooks, uniforms, all those stuff. So it's way back in 2006 actually. So that's the very first activity of Team Everest. That's how it all started. So I came back to Chennai. So my friends were asking, hey, Karthi, okay, now what are we going to do next? So I thought, okay, let's do something. Let's go to an orphanage nearby. And I was staying at Tiruvanmiyur at that point of time. So we went to a nearby orphanage. And there was an old age home. We started visiting old age home. So that is how slowly our volunteering activity started. And end of first year in Team Everest, we had like 1,500 people who signed up to volunteer with Team Everest. So, and most of them were Cognizant employees. The reason being I was in Cognizant. So, those days, like we used to be in Cognizant Academy. So, where, like you will be put up in a batch of 25 or 30 people. And I used to, like whenever I do one volunteering activity, I used to send to my batch, like four or five people inside my batch will forward it to their friends or roommates and who is sitting in other batches. And slowly mail got circulated. So, I'm very lucky. I am in IT company. So, like forwarding emails actually is a huge support at the beginning years of Team Everest. So people forwarded it, and slowly people started turning up for a lot of events. So in the first year, we had 1,500 volunteers with Team Everest. And so I joined in Cognizant as a Java developer. I was working for a banking client at that point of time. So those days are kind of so crazy. At the beginning of I used to work like before office hours, after office hours, weekends. I used to work for Team Everest, and rest of it I used to work for Java, doing testing, all those stuff. So, and like and doing Team Everest work was so interesting compared to my Java work. So I went to my manager and I told, like, hey, I want to do full time social work. Can you give an opportunity like that? So he looked at me from top to bottom. He told, Karthi, see, you are in an IT company, and say you don't want Java. You ask me either .NET or mainframe or some other technology. You are coming and asking a job where any such department is not at all existing. So those days there was no CSR within Cognizant. There was something called as Cognizant Foundation, which I already tried applying, and they told, like, you are too young, better not come here. And they told there's no opening. So I don't know what to do. So I thought, like, better let's quit this job in 2007 and start doing social work full time. So that's what I was thinking. So because all my doors are shut, so I decided, like by December 2007, let me quit my job. And I started doing some work and all. They put us a tester to testing department to understand how this work, and slowly they give you small coding projects. You do well, then they give you big modules. So they gave me some project. Like, and my manager was trying to put me, and like, okay, I was doing here and there good, but not too good. So he was truly frustrated. So every day, like most of the times he will call me inside a meeting room, like for half. He usually scolds me for around 30 minutes, because after that I know it's a meeting scheduled. So I know, like I used to look at my watch and okay, now scolding is over. Probably I can come out. And I know, because now I already decided I'm going to quit my job by December 31st, 2007. So I was waiting to this get over. I was actually not performing so well in that role. And that's the period, like, so those days, so there was a blogging platform in Cognizant where I used to blog about all the social work that I was doing. So, right, so those days, like, most of the senior people within Cognizant was seeing my blog post. So we had Suguma Rajagopal, I think he was the chief innovation officer at the time. We Chandra was there, Lakshmi was there. So so many people are reading my blogs. So Frank was the CEO. Frank used to read my blog and comments. I was so surprised looking at all these things. So when Cognizant clocked $2 billion in 2007. So this is the story that my manager Archana Raghuram used to tell very often. Like I think when Cognizant clocked $1 billion in 2005, they actually gave iPods to all its employees, and I missed it actually by 1 year. I joined in 2006. So in 2007, when Cognizant clocked $2 billion, so they thought, like, okay, so many employees are passionate about it, why don't we give the community instead of gifting our own employees? So that was the thought process, and they started something called as in Cognizant Outreach. And when they started it, like I myself and my manager Archana Raghuram were the first one to join this full time. So the next 85 months was a wonderful, wonderful journey that I had within Team Everest. So like you remember, so few months back I am asking, I need a full time job within Cognizant to do uh, full time social work. The department itself doesn't was not available. And today, like the company has come and they have created a new department, and they also gave me a full time job to work over there. In Alchemist, that the famous quote says, when you want to support the entire universe will come and support you is actually very true. So uh, I worked there for next 85 months. It's a very beautiful journey that I had so much of learning, volunteering like crazy. Like it is like they tell like like you work and we'll give you a salary also. So like in Tamil they used to tell "Karumbu tinna cooliyan," so which means that like they are giving you a sugar can, and for eating that they are also paying you. So it is like that. So I was so happy, and I continue to work there. So even those days, I used to do Team Everest activities before, after office hours, and weekends and all. And December 31, 2014, I quit my job. So when I was quitting that time, Cognizant had like 40,000 employees who were volunteering within Cognizant at that point of time. So it's something a huge learning for me. Like when you give a platform for people to volunteer, people will just like get that opportunity and start helping people. So that's one of my biggest lesson during my CSR career within Cognizant. And I decided to quit the job and come out because uh, like I told, my vision is to promote volunteering in India and inspire every Indian to volunteer. So I thought, okay, it's enough now swimming within a well. Let's go out and swim within an ocean. So I came out primarily to inspire more people, to reach out to more organizations, more schools, more colleges, more corporates, and promote volunteering. So till 2014, we didn't had any employees, and there's no like office, nothing. So we had only volunteers. So while I was quitting Cognizant, we had close to 8,500 8,500, 9,500 volunteers we had. And I quit the job. I came out, and slowly, like so till that time, it's like version one of Team Everest. So after I came out for first 1 year, I used to work within my. I used to work from my home. So like, and I slowly hired one person. So working within the home itself is enough. And slowly I won my second employee, and that point of time, my wife told, like, I'm going to kick you out. Better go and take an office. So I came out. So we took a small office in Pallavaram in the same street as where my home is, and we slowly started adding people. So today, if you look at it, we have like around 30 employees working full time with us. We have like 15,000 volunteers, and we work with 40,000 children a year. So that's a very, a little bit brief journey of myself and Team Everest. So I will take a minute to take few minutes to explain some of the initiatives that we do at Team Everest, and some of the things that happened in my personal life as well. So within Team Everest, we do many different initiatives, mostly focused towards education. One of our key initiative is scholarship program. We do a scholarship program called I Am the Change Scholarship Program. where we identify parentless and single parented students and we sponsor them for their UG degree. So currently we are sponsoring 400 parentless and single parented children in Chennai. So when I say parentless, they don't come from orphanages. They are taken care by their grandma, grandpa, aunt or uncle. So these children are studying in like 50, 60 different colleges because a lot of children drop out after school education where, like see, even if you're very poor, you can still study in government school where there is no fee. But children mostly drop out after 12th because they need to pay fee for college and not everyone gets free seats in government colleges and all. So that's where we pitch in and we help children. So that's one of the biggest program that we do. So immediately after quitting Cognizant, I went to my native. I started a program called Smile 100 where I identified 100 parentless and single parented students and we started sponsoring for their school education. So we took 100 children from LKG to 8th standard. Now all the children are moved to I think 4th to 12th standard right now. So our first 12th standard batch is going to come out. All these children are in a place called RNE in Tirunelveli district. So we have taken like 9 villages in and around RNE and we run a free tuition center there. We call this program as Rural Scholarship and we are educating like 600 rural students over there. Apart from this, we do various corporate projects also where the corporate acts as sponsors and we execute those programs. So like in Chennai, we do a program called Computer for All where we have taken like 10 schools. We have put up a teacher over there. We have built curriculum. We train them. We set up a computer lab and we are teaching 5,500 children computer each and every day in Chennai. So we do a lot of life skill training programs, employability training programs for college and school students. So these are some of the key initiatives I would say is part of Team Everest. We also, like for our scholars, we do a program called Speak Out, which is a virtual volunteering program where volunteers from any part of this world can actually dial in and have a phone call with a student. So they teach spoken English over phone. We have built a mobile app for that. It's a 40-day training program where half an hour a day they train the student on spoken English. So when last batch happened, we had like 800 volunteers volunteering from 12 countries, 3 continents, educating 400 children in Chennai. So I feel, like that's the power of technology. Volunteering has no boundaries. People from any part of this world, as long as you want to give, like anyone can pitch in and support. And second thing I want to tell you was, see, for us, almost we started in 2006, till 2009, we are not registered. We didn't raise any funds at all. We didn't even have a bank account. So most of our work was completely voluntary. But post that, we started scholarships and other stuff. So we registered our non-profit. And primarily for us, for a lot of time, almost for 8, 9 years, our primary donors are individuals. So we had 100% of donation came from India. We didn't get any funds from corporates at all. But past 2, 3 years, we started focusing on corporates and we get it. So a lot of our donors are one-time donors. We have many monthly donors who contribute monthly for the scholarship programs. Especially, we need more monthly donors who can come and donate, not like any amount of their choice. It costs like 42,000 rupees per year or per student. So if the person donates 3,500 rupees per month, it will come to 42,000 rupees per year. So anyone can contribute. So it's not that you have to contribute only 3,500. You can even contribute 100, 500,000, whatever the amount we want. So we get like huge number of applications for this scholarship. Like in Chennai, we visit 150, 200 schools to collect applications from parentless and single parental students, from plus 2 students alone, because we support them for the UG degree. Like last year, we got like 6,200 applications, out of which we sponsored only 200 children. So which is like only 3.1% of the children we were supporting. So had we had more money, more sponsors, we could have helped even 1,500 children last year. So that's the amount of need that's been there. So that's something with respect to Team Everest. On the personal front, like I lost both my mom and dad. My mom passed away in 2011 because of cancer, and my dad, exactly after 20 months after my mom passed away, my dad also passed away because of heart attack. He went to sleep and he didn't wake up the next day. So when both of them passed away, we donated his body to Theni Medical College. It's called body donation. So you don't burn or bury the body, you donate that body completely to medical college so that they can use it to teach medical students about anatomy. So anatomy is nothing but study of human bodies. And then like when they passed away, so we had a home in RNE. So that home I converted into a community center. We call it as Mom Dad Community Center, and we have a computer center, a tuition center, and a yoga class happening over there, and it supports around 500 children in and around that community. And I think that's it. So now I continue to volunteer with our team, and we are trying to support more children. We have a 2025 goal where we want to, like 10x the number of beneficiaries that we are supporting right now. And we are trying to reach out to more individuals and, like create a culture of volunteering within the country. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for listening, and I will be open for questions right now.
Very, very
Yeah,
inspiring. Very inspiring. I
thank
mean,
you. Thank you so much.
just what Madhav in fact said about NGOs, right? I mean, how it in fact works and the kind of perception what in fact had, I think today completely changed. And
Thank
I
you so much.
really wish all the very best for Team Everest.
Thank you. Thanks, Amit. There are thousands and lakhs of good non-profits in India, not just in India, across the world.
I know. Yeah,
All you
yeah.
need to do is just need to go see what they do, understand their intention, work with them, and then we will actually realize. Like just blindly telling that they are not good is not acceptable. Profits as a negative brand within India is just because of like few non-profits. Like other good non-profits also has got a bad name. I personally, having been in this field for 13 years, I know there are so many honest non-profits, honest people there. See, in fact, uh, I don't know, like actually the biggest scams actually happened in corporates, not in non-profit sector. But still, people trust corporates, but not non-profit sectors. Profits are not good. They will ask only money. They will cheat. That's a very negative mindset to have. You actually need to go work with them, understand their intention. That once you find that they are very genuine, keep supporting, because like non-profits need support because they reach out to people who are in need actually. So I can say
True.
so many examples within Team Everest. I used to tell this story in many of my interviews. We had a person called Karthik in Bodinayakar who used to sell samosas on street, and he wanted to become automobile engineer, but he didn't have money to pursue. So when Team Everest met him, we told we will sponsor him. And today, if you look at it, he's an automobile engineer, uh, and he got married and he bought a home in Chennai as well right now. You could imagine, and all this happened in say past 10 years. You could see, like that's the beauty of volunteering. So that's a moment, like I felt, like human beings have power to change lives. All you need to do is just take little bit of responsibility and share a little bit of what you actually have. That what you have could be, like it could be in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of skill, or in kind donation. I could see some books behind you. Okay, you're not no more using that book, you can actually donate that book to someone. It's in kind donation. So people can support anyone, anytime, in any way. So end of this, that's what matters. See, for you, money is a constraint, give time. Okay, time is a constraint, give money. Okay, both is a constraint, give you a skill or make in-kind donation. But end of the day, whether you give or not actually matters. It doesn't matter in what mode that you actually give. That many people used to ask me is, okay, hey, you quit my job now, how do you manage your family? So like see, I mean, I should say my thanks to mom and dad. Like my dad always used to he doesn't even wear a shirt which is more than 100 rupees kind of. So he always used to save money because he is the eldest in his family. He needs to take care of his he lost his father at a very young age, so he had only mother. So he like need to discontinue his studies and go and take care of the family, being the eldest person in the family. So he used to keep saving money so that he can educate his siblings. So all my aunt and uncle were educated because of him. So I always grown up seeing him. So I used to save a lot of money. So past 4 years, from 2015 to 2020, I have not got any salary from Team Everest at all. So it's my savings which helped me. And my wife was working in Cognizant and Philips. So that's the salary with which we were running the family. Like when I quit my job, our salary was reduced to 50%, and it's fine. So more than like Phillips was still paying my wife good, so we are able to manage the family. And when I need a full time, a good leader within Team Everest, so I thought like maybe it's time for my wife to come and join Team Everest. So she quit the job I think 2 years back, and she came and joined Team Everest full time. And again, like we gave her a very small salary compared to what she used to earn in Philips. So our total salary, family salary, shrink to around 20-25% at that point of time. But we are still happy, like so for me, money never gave me happiness. But end of the day, like though I don't charge my beneficiaries, this world still I want to go buy something from outside, they still charge me. They don't. I want to buy a soap or a shampoo, like they still charge me. They won't give me free, of course. So I need to still, like you need to have that currency to survive. So and like a lot of people actually, like when I quit, they saw my post and all. They told I also want to do it, but unfortunately I can't do it because I have a financial commitment and all those stuff they told. So I mean, like I was telling, right, that universe comes and supports you. Today, if my father and mother is alive, I'm not very sure whether I would have quit my job or not. But like nature had different plans. They passed away in 2013, and in 2014, I quit my job 1 year from the time my father passed away. So there are plans. So many other people are not able to quit job and do it. So it's not necessary that you need to quit job and do. You can still be in job and do good volunteering. Number one, number two, but still there are very crazy people. Like who wants to quit? I want to do full time social work, but how do I manage my finances? So I thought, like I always felt, okay, I should not take salary from donors, Team Everest donations. Though I can legally take, I resign my trustee post and I can take donation, take salary, but I refused to take any salary. I didn't take any salary for past 5 years. But like Jan 1, 2020, I wrote a blog post, 5 years of quitting Cognizant, and I told like, hey, this is what I did for the past 5 years, and I've not taken any money, and all my savings going to deplete by end of 2020. So would you be okay if you are interested to support me, sponsor me? Please sponsor me so that I can continue doing social work. That's what I told. So around 28 people came forward to sponsor me. Few became monthly donors to sponsor. I told you I'm getting the salary month on month. Let me donate some of it to you. Number one. And we had one-time donors. They told, okay, I will donate something. You use this for your salary. So uh, so for the first time, almost after 5 years, May 1, 2020, I've got my first salary after 5 years. Uh, this salary is still a lot less than what I used to earn in 2014, but still a salary is a salary. So I want to do this way because, like, okay, I am working for people. Now, why not people come and support social workers like us? So I want to create a model where individuals come sponsor social workers so that many people like me who has the heart to come and serve the society can quit their job, come out and let say individual sponsor social workers and social worker take care of the society. So in fact, this is nothing a new model. We all pay tax to the government and government takes care of people. Here it's the same model, not paying money to government instead of paying money to the social worker and the social worker in turns actually help people. So I think like I want to promote this so that more and more people have the courage to quit the job, come out because like this world and this especially our India need more social workers who can actually go to deepest the deepest place and help the people over there. So I'm thankful to all my personal donors, and hopefully like and there was one and I wanted to actually push my salary to the level like the same salary which I will take while I'm in corporate, so that I can show people like you can still quit, do social work, earn the same money, do good job, people will trust you, come and help. So that's something I'm trying out. Let's see where it goes. So like looking at me, people can develop that own model and more people come and help others. I think I'm the most happiest person in the world. Anyone else?
Hi, Karthik. I have a couple of questions. This is TVR.
Sure.
Okay. Um, it really takes, a big heart to actually take these steps that you have taken in your life. Especially, I was moved when you mentioned in a very small statement, but I think that statement itself defines you. That you donated your father's body to a medical college. I mean, I think that one statement really hit me hard. But then I have like one question to ask you. Uh,
Sure.
uh, what challenges you face from society related to not only just donating your father's body, but Team Everest? Point number one. Point number two. Uh, Even after facing so many challenges from society, from like family or near relatives or friends, uh, uh, what are the few examples that kept you motivated and made you feel like you have moved the mountain?
Okay. Okay. Sure. Okay. So, see, in terms of challenges, see, I would say initially the biggest challenge is skill. Actually, that's what I would say, because see, I come from a lower middle class family. You don't have a huge experience. I have worked in Cognizant for 8 years, but beyond that, being a CEO of a organization and running different things, you should know every department, something about finance, something about marketing, something about fundraising, something about volunteering. So so till the time I was in Cognizant, it is like, like Cognizant will give all the money, just go do social work, come back happy. And the moment I came out, quit came out, like you figure out your money, then fundraise that money, go and spend it. So it's a different ball game altogether. There's no boss for you to give that money to go and spend. So I really found it difficult to, like leadership is a different ball game altogether. So I need to have different teams. There's no, like I probably even today in Team Everest, one person will be handling 3 departments or 4 departments. So we don't have a full-time HR, we don't have a full-time admin, we don't have a full-time L&D person. So lot of multiple departments, we put one person who actually handles it. So skill is the first thing, because until and unless the leader knows how to handle stuff, it's very difficult to expand your organization. That's the first difficulty that I faced. And obviously now when you start growing, right, see, unfortunately, we have been told, like, okay, I mean, in Tamil they used to say, when you do social work, in your right hand, the left hand itself should not know that you're doing this. That's what I should, I mean, this is a, that's an humility that that we all actually have. Unfortunately here, like, I mean, my father has always been there. He never marketed his efforts, uh, and it came with me also. So a lot of things that we do at Team Everest, we actually never publicized it at all. So that is something I figured it out very lately. That, like, probably marketing is very important. See, what I am doing here is also, like, just with my journey, I'm just trying to inspire few more people, so that, like, end of the day, you people actually go and volunteer and help a needy. I think the objective of this session is done. So it's, I mean, so marketing, what you do actually. So sometimes, the word marketing has been has a very negative quotient to it. It's about, I would say, instead of word marketing, like, hey, how do you tell your story to inspire others? That's what we are trying to do. So we need, I have not done that in the past, because of which have we done, like, we would be financially in a much better position. So now we have realized it, and we are trying to increase funds, reach out to more donors, so that we can help more students. So that's one of my biggest lesson at that point of time. And what's your second question? Sorry.
No, no, okay. The I mean, uh, social, socially, like what challenges you face from society, right? One, and then second part was, when did you feel like, okay, you had really moved the mountains? Like few examples from Team Everest, where, as I think one example you definitely mentioned, like the guy who wanted to be more automobile engineer today has a house uh, and has lived his dream job, right? Any other examples where from, I mean, kids or from small families or from big families? Any other examples where you really felt like, okay, Team Everest had moved the mountain, and which you, for the goal that you did
Correct.
set out to achieve?
Okay. See, there are so many examples actually. So, in fact, looking at me, I know personally one person has quit his job and started his NGO and doing this full time. He used to work in a corporate. So those are kind of moments which motivated me. I know a guy who donated his parents' body after reading my blog post. And like there was another girl called Divya who's a parentless kid, and she, got placed in Infosys, and she's in onsite right now. So there are a number of stories. Even during this period, during this COVID period, like we gave something called as COVID livelihood relief fund to people, like who lost their jobs. Typically to the parents of our own scholars itself we gave. So like one girl, one scholar made a beautiful video and shared it with us. She told, "Now, we usually eat for one time a day, and sometimes didn't even do it. For past 4 days, I didn't eat. For the first time after 4 days, I'm going to eat for the first time. Thanks for the donation." And it actually really moved me. Like see, for someone that 3,000 rupees or 4,000 rupees for us is just money, but for someone else, it's like, and imagine it's food. You don't even get food. I mean, I can't even like I feel very bad if I don't eat even I skip even a single meal. பசி தாங்க முடியாதுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So it's very important to actually look at it back for us. Whatever we take it granted, for someone else it's huge. I need to tell like we have one student. I think her name is Hema. So she like one day she came to our office, and when she saw me, she just broke into tears. I asked her what happened. She told, like my father is an alcoholic, and like he spent all our money. We didn't have any money at all. So he actually, because he didn't have any money, he actually took my college bag with all my books. He sold it to earn some money and drank. So today, now I don't even have a bag and books. So when she told, like I felt so bad, and then we immediately paid her money. So we kept it secret, so that our father doesn't know this. And then she was able to write exams and score good marks. So there are like thousands of stories like this, mostly.
Thanks, Karthi. I think it really moved as I'm sure, and as Manav mentioned, it really changed perspective of like reaching out. Definitely creates a ripple effect. It's not just you're helping one person, you're helping a family, and you're helping the future generation also. Thank you.
Thank you. See, especially one question that I always ask people to ask themselves and empathize is that, just ask this question: Who paid your school fees and college fees? Just ask that question. For most of them, it will be our parents. Now, imagine that parent itself is not there. Who is going to pay that fee and take care of the child? Today, like I think I was 27, 26 or 27. I think when my father and mother passed away. Even at that period, I felt it very hard to handle it. Imagine for children younger than them, it's going to be so tough. So like for such children, not just such children, for many other children, I think people like us today, if every graduate actually like promise to educate just one more person, we will not hear the word first generation learners still. So it's as simple as that. All you need to do is like the logo that we have. Like if you're on top, just extend your hand so that the other person could also come to the top. That's all is volunteering. And if we can do this continuously, regularly, I think this world would be a much, much better place. Today, like even during the COVID, what is happening? Everything has been locked out. Everything is there. But what survives is humanity. So today, like everyone want to volunteer. Everyone needs help. So I think this is something very human, and everyone should have it. Unfortunately, we have not. I mean, all our parents told, and every time I do some good work, people come and appreciate me. But unfortunately, those people who appreciate me are not doing it. Why? Because like somewhere we miss this trick of like as a family we go to a temple, as a family we go to a movie, as a family we go to shopping, but as a family we are never volunteered. I think that is the missing piece of the puzzle. Have we done that? I think like most of us would be more empathetic, very kind, and we can build a society, like, and where volunteers could solve a lot of problems rather than waiting for some government or someone else to come and solve it. So that's my belief.
Not at a big scale, but I support some organization in my native, and when it comes
Wonderful.
to volunteering, right? I really have too many questions to them when the funds are being invested, right? I think today you changed my mindset. I might probably don't ask questions. I might probably, um ask others to volunteer and fund those kind of organizations. By the way, this organization is actually running a house for a senior citizens, right?
Wonderful.
Who does not have kids, or probably kids are not supporting their parents, kind of a thing. But truly hats off, and you changed my perspective for looking at a NGO not by asking questions but by actually helping them growing this kind of organization further. Thank you so much.
True, Anirudh. See, I will tell you this example. Like even just 2 days back, one volunteer told, "I want to become a monthly donor, but how do I know that you are really giving money to the money is going to the needy?" So I actually thanked her for asking that question because it's very natural. Like okay, how do I ensure that money goes to the right hands? So if you go to Team Everest website, right, we have a tab called transparency. So teameverest.ngo/transparency, where we list out all the ways where we are trying to be transparent. Okay, so you look at our past work, you look at our social media. Every day we post on social media to tell people what we do. We have created a YouTube channel. We put all the efforts to go record beneficiaries, their feedback, come back and put it. A lot of media has written about us, so those stories has been put up. So we try to cover everything to build that trust. And more, I mean, above and beyond that, we also connect the beneficiary with the donor. So someone tells, I want to speak with the beneficiary, we even connect them so that they really know what is happening. So, see, doubting is fine, but don't come to a judgment without actually going and evaluating it. So, in most of the cases, what happens is, at least with Team Everest, I worked in an IT company. I use a lot of technology to communicate to masses. Like probably the NGO that you work with might not use technology, but and they might not know the importance of, say, donor relationship, something like that. So, not everyone is like knowledgeable or educated to know about all these things. So if you find some angels not doing it, it's not that they don't want to do, it's just that they don't know actually. You can,
Yeah,
like be you working in an IT, you can guide them, you can do this, build that capacity building within them. Slowly they will understand and they will try to replicate the same experience for all the donors also. So in most of the cases, it is actually I would say they don't know how to do rather than it's not that they don't want to do. So that's the basic difference.
absolutely. And I completely agree with you. So far what I was doing was not to give money but buy
Hmm.
stuff and give it. But now I think,
Hmm.
money and buying stuff are two different things, and I think money can change the way they want to spend it rather than buying stuff and
Absolutely. See, in
giving
fact,
them.
I would suggest, you should probably go and tell, okay, I will sponsor one of your employees. See, not many people does that actually, unfortunately. So what
Exactly.
happens is, lot of money that we get ready even from corporate, they ask you what is our admin cost. So they will tell admin cost should be less than 5% or 10%. If more than 10%, they don't even sponsor you. See, imagine I'm giving you the money and I'm telling you, no, admin cost should be only less than 10 percentage. Imagine you're going and buying your iPhone. We are telling, uh, no, iPhone cost, admin cost should be less than 10 percentage only. Now, how do you manage? Because all the engineers, everyone, in fact, most of the cost inside iPhone is actually admin cost. If you consider the salary of the engineers and others is calculated as admin cost. So it's very ridiculous telling that, like this is, people will tell 100% of it should go to the beneficiary only. So yes, it's doable, but unfortunately, like you need to equip non-profits so that instead of just helping beneficiary, equip non-profits. If non-profits are so powerful like Apple or Google, why there are very few non-profits like Bill Gates, Melinda Foundation, Asim Premji Foundation? We have very few non-profits which is very rich, but there are so many corporates which is very successful for a long time. I think if you can build that capacity to non-profits, I think non-profit can truly build like bring amazing results in this world because we don't have a owner, we don't want profits to like where a owner will take that money with. We don't have stakeholders. So all we have is people who are in need of help, and it's absolutely important to go and invest on their admin cost and help them do it so that they can help more beneficiaries. In fact, like so I think this I made a post on LinkedIn, and that's how I know like Manav actually pinged and told, hey, why don't we do the session kind of. So like I mean, it's all about just taking the word out because end of the day, like the more we ask, the more we get. That's what I believe. So asking is my duty. Giving or not giving is others' responsibility. So as long as there is a needy waiting for something, and I will keep asking. So thank you so much.
Really impressive social work, and good to know
Thank
you
you.
are doing a lot of things. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you so much.
sure. I have a question.
Sure.
Just curious to know, we are in COVID time, right? So
Correct.
just wanted to know, is your organization doing anything to help people, needy people during Corona situation?
Yeah. Yes, Raghavan. See, actually, we have launched a couple of initiatives. One is called the COVID Livelihood Relief and a COVID Scholarship Program. So this year, like apart from a regular scholarship where we sponsor parentless, single parental students, we have told like we will support 50 students who are affected because of COVID. That is one. So once things get back to normal, children are going to college. We are going to launch that. That's one. And currently, to help the people, so we work with 1,100 families very
Mhm.
closely as part of various scholarship programs that we do. So we've identified needy people from this background, and we have
Mhm.
already transferred around 20 lakhs to I think around 389 families so far. And this month we are going to do another transfer. So we are raising funds for that. So if you go to our website teameverest.ngo, you could see on the menu something called as COVID. Just click there, you will see all the initiatives that we launch. Apart from the money donation, because a lot of volunteers are now in home, they have a lot of time also. So we have launched something called as a virtual volunteering, where we have launched 15 different initiatives where people can volunteer and help. So already 1,500 people have volunteered and are helping and teaching children now. So both
Very
money
good.
and both time is something people are contributing at this point of
Very good. Very good. Fantastic to know. We will spread the word to our circle as well during
Definitely,
this
Raghav.
situation.
And we have actually launched another initiative. If some of you comes from other countries, we have launched an initiative called Hello India, where like, because as I told, my goal is to promote volunteering. So we are asking NRI kids to volunteer. So if you have a kid or something, just go to Team Everest website and go to in the menu volunteer from home. You will see an option called Hello India. Just read the guidelines there. You can sign up. We will connect an NRI kid with a kid in India, and like for 15 days, half an hour a day, we will give a topic for each day, and they can exchange so that an Indian kid can know more about an American Indian, and they can actually understand our culture and what our children do. So it's a great way to like create kindness, empathy, that spirit of volunteering,
Mhm.
and at the same time, like understand both cultures and like bring us together. Unfortunately, we are geographically divided, and it's a great way to bring people together again.
Sure,
That's
sure.
really
Very good.
cool. Yeah,
No, thanks a lot. Thanks
sure.
for this opportunity.
Thank,
Thanks everyone. Happy volunteering.
thank
Keep
you.
support.